another incredible guest. We are going to be speaking with Islam Almahi, who is the founder of Blueprint. And we're going to be talking about all things entrepreneurship. And I love the topic, particularly at this time, because wherever you are in the world right now, work is feeling really challenging. We're seeing economy shift. We're seeing people with jobs feeling uncertain about the future. And entrepreneurship is not just about wanting to be your own boss. It's about creating opportunities, not just for yourself, but also for people in your community. And I'm going to put out there that I've got a very bossy Pomeranian who's going to be popping in and out. But before we move forward, Islam, thank you so much for joining me today. We're streaming on YouTube, we're streaming on LinkedIn, we're recording for the Virtual Hub. So we're everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. It's a pleasure.
And I will try to navigate these crazy days with my bossy Pomeranian who won't even let me come up here. But anyway, you got to love going live. This always happens. Islam, I mean, there's so many questions that I want to jump into today, but I'm really conscious of two things: our time and the conversation. And I want to keep it focused on entrepreneurship, and I want to dive into Blueprint. But before we do that, I know that you weren't always an entrepreneur. And the work that I do helping students is always talking to them about how can we prepare them for that future of work? And also, how do we help them navigate that the choice that they make in that very first choice may not be the choice that they choose to remain in their future? And I know that you've lived that. So tell us a little bit about how you made your first career decision and how you felt when you were making it. And I'm taking you back down memory lane.
Yes, for sure. So my first career decision was choosing medical sciences as a discipline and then pharmacy later on. At that stage, I was naturally more drawn to subjects like, biology, chemistry, math. So that path kind of felt aligned with how I thought and what interested me. I was looking for something meaningful, structured, and respected. So a path where I could use my mind, but also help people in a real way and build a solid future. So I remember feeling like a mix of confidence, but also a pressure, to be honest. Confidence because, it felt like that's a serious discipline and it's a useful profession. But also pressure because you are young, you think, your first decision has to be the perfect one. But what I know now is that your first decision does not have to define you forever. It just needs to be honest for who you are at that moment. My path, later on expanded to research, management, and entrepreneurship. So I do not see career decisions as one final answer anymore. I see them as, starting points.
I love that. Career decisions really are dynamic and they're so complex. And not only did you kind of navigate that, but life also required you to navigate that in the different roles, whether you were, in your first opportunity of work right after your schooling, and then how you had to navigate being a mom with teenagers who were beginning their own career path. And I know that you needed to navigate that. And I think those are conversations that we don't have enough of with teenagers. So I really resonate with your journey. But with all things entrepreneurship, let's kind of like fast forward to the day that you decided Blueprint needed to be created. Take us back to that thinking process and how you found the courage, you built the process, and you decided that that is what you wanted to do.
So Blueprint, it came from a lived experience more than theory for sure. Like, sitting with 9 tabs, on my browser, trying to navigate the rules, the design, the name, so many things. So it started because I personally know what it feels like to have, ambition, ideas, and work ethics, but feel lost in actual process of building something new. So I have gone through failed business attempts between Norway
Mm.
and the UAE, and one thing became very clear to me, that many founders do not fail because they are lazy or they are incapable. They struggle because the path is fragmented, confusing, and there's so much conflicting advice and information out there. So, for you especially, as a founder, you may need to think about idea validation, given the fact that
Mm.
mostly most of the people here are expats. Does this idea actually work with the UAE community market? So to have a business model, think about the setup, licensing, banking, pricing, so many decisions, and you feel like, okay, I need to go to market at the same time, everything at once.
Mm.
It is overwhelming, especially at an early stage. So Blueprint was built to really become that platform. I wish it existed, when I started the first time, my first business. So something practical, honest at the same time, and something that helps founders move from idea to action with more clarity and less noise, really.
That's amazing. So, Blueprint is a platform for entrepreneurs to build their ideas, validate their ideas. And it's so much more. I found that when I dived into your platform, not only was it a good starting point for building those and validating, but I love how AI comes into it in terms of helping you tweak that validation. So tell us a little bit more about Blueprint, because we're talking about it like everyone understands what it is. So tell us more about what Blueprint is and how you wish, and how it helps you in that you said you wish it existed when you first started.
I will give you a little secret because I'm using Blueprint to build the business.
Amazing. Okay.
This is like, hopefully, it will provide proof that actually it works. If it works for me, it works for everyone. This is to start with. Blueprint helps aspiring entrepreneurs by giving them the structure at the stage where most people feel scattered, as I mentioned. So the platform guides founders through actual journey, step by step. So it includes starting with clarifying the idea, validating it, understanding the market by studying competitors and defining target segments and for customer personas. So shaping their value proposition and building the business model in a practical way. So what matters to me is that it's not only motivational content, because we have a lot of that out there. It's meant to reduce the confusion and help people make better decisions earlier on. And as you mentioned, it combines AI-powered tools with practical founder guidance from real-world experts and mentors. So users are not just inspired, but they are actually progressing. And for many aspiring founders, the hardest part is the lack of is not the lack of ambitions to actually to address that. It's not like they don't have ambitions. They started because
Yeah.
they have a passion for something, but the not knowing what to do next, what to do first, and what matters now, what can wait. So Blueprint helps answer that, really.
That's amazing. So tell me about, let's rewind. You were telling us a little bit about most entrepreneurs don't, they're not struggling because they're not aspirational and they don't have ambition. That's why they went into it. What other big challenges do you see entrepreneurs that you are helping with Blueprint making?
Yeah, so one of the biggest mistakes, including I've done it, including myself, and I see people do all the time. They are trying to build so much too soon. So they spend lots of time thinking about the logo, the name, the website, even social media advertisements, and okay, perfecting that offer before they even have proof or evidence that the idea actually solves a real problem for real people. So this is a big one. Another big challenge is overthinking actually instead of testing. Many aspiring entrepreneurs, they stay in the learning mode for too long. They are consuming content, they are taking notes, webinars, researching endlessly, but avoiding the discomfort of actually putting something in front of the market. And I would say a third challenge is actually building in isolation. And this is very real right now. So entrepreneurs can feel that it's actually a lonely ride. So you need people around you. Sometimes people wait too long to ask for help and ask questions from mentors or experts and get feedback even on their product or service. Now, so speaking to someone with experience is actually very valuable. So for me, the pattern is, just to sum up, it's like, too much guessing, not enough testing, and too much polishing, and not enough proof.
I love that. I definitely resonate with all the things that you said, particularly the too much learning. I found that on my own entrepreneurial journey, I always feel like there's probably one more thing that I should learn, and I think you're right. I think, anyway, I resonate with that. And I'm also really conscious that inside my Virtual Careers Hub, I help students who are considering entrepreneurship as that aspirational career path. Do you think that young people should look at that first starting journey of entrepreneurship differently? So I know you said you wish Blueprint existed when you first started, and it sounds like it gives you that structure. It gives you the focus, the direction. But young people, they think differently, they learn differently. So what tip do you think a young person inside the hub watching this now should consider as they're beginning that entrepreneurship journey?
I would start with do not romanticize entrepreneurship, but do not fear it either. Entrepreneurship can be incredibly meaningful, but it asks a lot from you. It asks for resilience, emotional maturity, patience, and a willingness to keep learning and adapting. So if a young person feels drawn to entrepreneurship, I would encourage that. But I would also encourage them to build habits and character skills behind it. So it's not just the image of it, because all of that's the entrepreneurial lifestyle, freedom, and working from everywhere in the world, and people it's not all that. So from my lived experience as I'm a woman, and you mentioned a mom as well, an entrepreneur. I've learned that entrepreneurship is less about being fearless and more about actually being ready and steady in many ways. So you're not always confident. You don't feel confident actually most of the time, but you will not always feel ready. So it's but you keep showing up. So it's those paradoxes. And then also I think young people should focus less on what business should I start with, and focus more on what problems actually I notice and I need to solve, what skills am I building, and what kind of person am I becoming, because those questions create stronger foundation. So especially for young girls and young women, I would say your path does not need to be loud and powerful. You can build something meaningful in your own way, with depth, integrity, and long-term mindset.
I love that. I love that. Tell me more about how Blueprint is helping your clients. So when you think about the members inside the platform, what are you seeing different from when they entered to where they are as they evolve through Blueprint?
So everyone has their own journey, and it, it is, sometimes they need just one thing, not the steps, not all, not every tool, not every single thing out there. The answer could be just one step, just that mentorship session, and then they are just off creating, building, and selling. It's amazing just observing the differences, because we're all different. We have evolved differently, kind of have different skill sets, and personality preferences. So it's finding, before Blueprint, before starting with the first stage at Blueprint, which is idea validation. What came clear to me now, like, okay, we need to focus on the opportunity, the founder opportunity fit. So because that's where it's all starts, really. Like, is this really a good opportunity for me? So it's I see it now, like, many times, all keep coming and showing up like this thing. So I'm trying to kind of integrate that also into Blueprint in the future. So they are giving me feedback. So all of the test users, and we're in these cycles of iteration and making it better and better, hopefully, for more founders to really launch.
I love that. Thank you so much. I think that's great. As we're coming to the end, I can see our time nearing to the end. Let's go back to the human side of the entrepreneurial journey, the human behind Blueprint, the story behind Blueprint. Entrepreneur to entrepreneur, and anyone watching this right now thinking, my job is not guaranteed. I feel really uncertain in the current time. What advice do you have from your own lived experience as an entrepreneur that can help someone considering entrepreneurship right now?
That it's a difficult one, because I myself found myself many times, thinking about this. But what I know for sure, whether someone chooses employment or entrepreneurship or a mix of both, the real goal is not to force one identity too early. So the goal should be building self-awareness, skills, and the courage actually to test what fits. Because I think that creates a meaningful career, but also entrepreneurship journey.
Thank you so much, Eslam. I completely resonate. I love that. Don't stick to remind me what you said. Don't stick to the two identities, or don't let one identity. I apologize, but remind us, because that was so empowering.
That the real goal should be not to force one identity too early, whether it is employment or entrepreneurship or a mix of both.
I love that. Because we are living in a world where you don't have to choose one or over the other, and that's always something that I am echoing for students and parents, is that why are we limiting the journey to one or the other? We're living in a world where you can do both, and actually the future of work is about resilience, and sometimes that one identity won't take us through the end of that journey. So thank you, Eslam, for being with us. Anyone watching on YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you're watching live from LinkedIn, welcome to my bossy Pomeranian who took over the interview again. But we were speaking with Eslam Almahi, who is the founder of Blueprint. And if you are considering entrepreneurship and you are looking for structure, process, or support, you definitely need to reach out. How can everyone find you, Eslam?
So it's blueprint.com, the main platform. We have all of our socials, in the footer there. Reach out. I will be the person replying to you personally, really.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I will see you all at our next Let's Talk Careers with Miss V. Thank you for joining.